Hit it a little more. More. Again. Just spray it for 2 seconds. Do it again.
You want to close it? Leave it up.
When David was 9 years old, his father allowed him to drive the Firebird, but only if he mowed the lawn.
Okay, today what we're going to take a peek at is our 632 Nitrous series, but this is with a hydraulic cam, and it's with a short intake manifold and a special drop base air cleaner. So normally we run a BM 2025, which is about an inch taller on the intake. It's a really special intake. It's an inch lower. We still use this modified Holley carburetor, Dominator, and then we've run this really special spun aluminum drop base, which we've modified, and I'll show you just how far we've modified it. But we ended up to where we only lose 13 horsepower with the air cleaner on, but it picks up almost 2.5 to 3 inches of hood height. So that's pretty trick. So you get an 800 horsepower hydraulic cam pump gas big block that sounds bitchin', and you can drive anywhere. And then when you want to get on the squeeze, you can spray 300 through it and make it 1100. Right now it's on a 200 shot, making 1,000 and 1,040 horsepower. 40 foot-pounds, and it's pretty nice. This particular one, we've polished the intake heads. Air cleaner is just a sexy little piece, and hope you like it. Okay, so what happens here? What you're going to see is you've got a nitrous row, and then you've got a fuel row, and when you touch the button, these electronic solenoids spray inside of this plenum. On this plenum, we've made this really custom. We went and cut the bar into the plenum itself. Okay, so here's kind of a close-up view. What we did is we ended up taking this nitrous bar and we milled into the manifold itself for the bar to fit in. That way we didn't raise the carburetor up at all. And for this particular application, we wanted as much hood clearance as possible. So it's kind of a trick way of doing it. We went ahead and machined the bar, machined the manifold, and then ended up bolting it into the manifold itself. You can kind of see where the bar resides in the intake right now. Watch how nicely this thing starts. Thing starts on lightning. So I wanted to point out that we've changed the front seal and the rear seal area, and we have the pans made with billet front and billet rear end caps, and that really helps out on how dry it is now, because the seal is CNC machined and it's just perfectly set up for the seal. You don't have to worry about any grinding afterwards. and you can see this nice kick out, and we do that for picking up some horsepower, so we kick it out on that side of the engine there. That way the oil has a place to go. Alright, so we're going to run it without the air cleaner, and then we're going to put the air cleaner on and see what the difference is, and just so you guys can see, you know, what it's worth. So we lost about 13 horsepower and maybe 12 foot-pounds, 13 foot-pounds, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Because if you really think about that, that's, if you were to stick this in the car, where you jam the carburetor right up against the hood, you're going to lose 100. So it really works out nice. You lose 13 horse, but you got filtration. Here's a view of the sheet metal valve covers that we use. They're all aluminum hand fabricated and TIG welded. So what we're looking at right here is what the motor made on a 225 shot. So 1,002 horsepower, 1,043 foot-pounds of torque on a 225 shot. So roughly 790 on the motor, and it kind of made so you're looking at about 210. So there you go. Okay, so what we have right here is, this is kind of special because this is a really nice drop base which we've modified. So if you look here, you know, this is the top of the carburetor, and you know, with the Dominator and a single plane intake, you have you always have an issue of trying to get it under the hood. So with a big motor like this, you need a big filter element. So we've run this 4-inch, so we've been able to run this big 4-inch air cleaner element, but it's lowered quite a bit. So if you look on the top here, you get the area of all of this element, but it's, you know, dropped, and we've been able to drop it about close to 2.5 inches. And you can see it actually covers almost the entire float bowl. And then we've gone ahead and put this nice, really nice spun aluminum part which we've polished, and you know, it's shorter on the outside here and then bubbles up for where the float bowls are and where the carburetor entry is. So you can see from the China wall, we're only only add about 12 3/4 inches to the top of the air cleaner. And although that's still high, that's better than 15 or 16 inches. So on this motor we've got the timing turned down, but this is like an 800 horse engine on the motor, and then we're going to spray it right now. So that's cool to be able to have that amount of area and not hurt the horsepower.